For more on this, joining us live is Dr. Malcolm Davis, a Senior Analyst in Defence Strategy and Capability at the Australian Strategic Policy Institute. Malcolm, did those pictures of NASA and the engineers they're celebrating, did that give you goosebumps? It was a pretty amazing feat.
Well, certainly as someone who's focused very much on space policy and the future of humanity and space, it certainly did. It's a great achievement. When you think about it, we've gone from the Wright flyer in 1903 to flying helicopters on Mars in 2021. That's a little under 120 years of progress. So it does beg the question, where do we go in the next 120 years? I certainly do think that we'll be seeing a lot more of Ingenuity up in the air, but it blazes the trail for future helicopter and drone type technologies being used on Mars and indeed other planets.
And do those technological advancements mean that that really is the future of space exploration as far as we can see at the moment, that it will be performed by these sort of robots or aircraft instead of actual humans being up there in space?
Look, I think it's a combination of humans and robots working together. We are planning to return to the moon in this decade and establish a permanent presence on the lunar surface. That blazes the trail, to use the term again, towards a human mission to Mars, probably in the late 2030s, early 2040s. And once again, that would establish a permanent human presence on the red planet. But what robots and probes and rovers do is they give us the ability to lay the groundwork for human exploration further into the future. So this is the beginning of a golden age of space exploration that will be far more significant in many respects than the Apollo era, because it really is about making humanity a multi-planet species and having a permanent presence in space, not just around Earth in Earth orbit, but also on the moon, on Mars, and even beyond.
So what is next for Ingenuity? What else is planned for the aircraft?
Well, look, I think that the potential of aviation technology to expand our ability to explore space is very clear. We've started with helicopters on Mars that date back to the helicopters on Earth, which date back to the 1920s, and we've now got helicopters on Mars. So the next step, I think, would be drone type technologies that maybe can go further and faster and enable us to explore more of Mars using these technologies.
And this one was being run by NASA. What about the other big space programs around the world? Are we seeing the Chinese, the Russians, are they using the same sort of technology?
Well, I certainly think that the Chinese have very significant space ambitions for eventual humans on the lunar surface, probably by the late 2020s, early 2030s. The Chinese do have a Mars rover mission that is now in orbit around Mars, and the rover is due to actually land on Mars sometime around about July, I think it is. So the Chinese do have ambitions for Mars exploration as well. You've got the United Arab Emirates that has dispatched its Hope Mars orbiter, which is now in orbit around Mars. India has ambitions. Obviously, there's Russian moves to return to the moon. So this is, as I said, an important beginning for a new golden era of space exploration, not only by states, but also by commercial actors as well. And Australia is an important part of that because we have a rapidly growing and vibrant space sector that I think is taking its first steps with the Seven Sisters project, for example, to send space probes to the moon. So that's going to happen in the next 2 to 3 years' time.
Fascinating stuff. Dr. Malcolm Davis, appreciate you taking the time to talk us through it.
Thank you very much.